Hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthlings 6455463728. And unfortunately, most of us will never stop gaining weight. I've thought about it, and that seems to be the case. And I'll go into it in a moment. For the uninitiated, I am Earthling, yada yada yada. And once upon a time, I saw Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra. He was on Oprah. And he had a weight suspended between his fingers. Or between Oprah's fingers. And he told her, think about it turning clockwise. Think about it turning anti-clockwise. And it worked on TV. And I tried it. And it worked. And I was amazed. And then it turns out that it's unconscious muscles, movements in your fingers that do that. So it wasn't really as amazing as I thought. Anyway, I have a bachelor's in computer science. I have a master's in business administration. I can swim pretty well. I got a scholarship a long time ago and an assistantship. And that's the reason why I was able to get those degrees. I've traveled a bit. I've had my own local newspaper. And that's it for me. So anyway, most of us will never stop gaining weight. Now, I once was talking to a friend of mine who I have not seen in many years. And she mentioned the fact that she had gained a little weight since I saw her. She used to be really very skinny. Didn't sound like she was very overweight. And I thought we were close enough for me to make a simple observation, which was simply that even if she was only gaining, like, let's say 1 pound a year, for the next 40 years, that would be 40 pounds. So the idea was simply, is it that she had simply gained a certain amount of weight and was stationary? Or is it that she was very, very slowly and unnoticeably continually gaining weight? She didn't like the conversation, as I guess is stereotypical of women. So I was talking to her on Facebook. So she deleted everything that we talked about. But anyway, I think it's an observation that for anybody who is conscious of themselves and they want to know what to expect in their lives and to control their lives, it's pretty simple. If your body needs 100 calories of food in order to survive based on the amount of activity that you perform, your gender, your age, all this other stuff, and you eat 5 extra calories every single day, it means that your body is going to save up 5 extra calories every single day because it's not using it. It's not being used, and your body will save up 5 the first day, 10, 15, 20, etc. And unfortunately, given the way that the world is, where we are encouraged to eat stuff because of how good it tastes, to enjoy our food, rather than to eat stuff in order to ensure that our body is functioning properly. That's what most of us do, myself included, up to a while ago, which was, even if you're not necessarily hungry, you may eat something. And especially if you eat when you're not hungry, past the point where you're satisfied, especially if you're eating high-calorie foods, which is the case for most of us, people will go from being, most of us, if you're not already overweight as a kid or obese, which I think many people are not, you have a certain amount of calories that you need to grow. But once that growing is accomplished and you get into a stationary job, many of us might have a desk job, and you don't have to walk that far. People have dishwashers, not like washing dishes is going to burn that many calories. But people drive everywhere. People get an exercise, like an exercise bike or something, and it just stays there because, let me tell you, exercise is unpleasant. And even if you did exercise, a lot of times I heard this very interesting phrase or word, which is an alibi activity, alibi food, whereby people eat these superfoods and they think, oh, I'm doing something good for my body, so I can balance that out by doing something a little bit unhealthy, and it won't be that bad. Well, that's what can happen. Even if you do get around to exercising, you think, okay, well, I've exercised a bit, and that means I deserve a little bit extra more, and you might not even think about it. You just would have, your appetite would be a little bit more because of your exercise, and you just might have some more to eat. And of course, as I mentioned, once you're eating more than your body actually needs, even if, and especially if you are not measuring yourself regularly, you're not weighing yourself regularly, you're not going to realize that from the point where you're a teenager and it's okay for you to eat more and more because there's more of you as you grow, and like I said, you take up that desk job and there's pizza one day and there's someone's birthday the other day. Yeah, especially if you're not weighing yourself, it's going to go unnoticed that every year you are probably gaining weight. Your face is looking a little bit fuller, and that extra 5 calories that I spoke about, every single year you're putting on more and more and more and more. And the more that you eat in any given moment, you're stretching out your stomach. It's going to take more for you to feel satisfied, so you're going to even go beyond that 5 extra calories per se. But the worst part is that many people, when they try to lose weight, they don't know how to successfully lose weight. So they do those yo-yo dieting, whereby they lose a bit and then they gain much more than they lost. Then they lose a bit and then they gain much more than they lost. And as a result of that, if you don't know how to definitively lose weight for extended periods of time to maintain that, again, it means that based on our modern day lifestyle of eating to enjoy as entertainment, we're just going to keep on growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's something that I realize where there are people who have gained weight that I see. You're really, just look at TV. Just look at television and you will see anybody that you knew from their teenage years as an actor on TV, they are probably a lot heavier, significantly heavier. Like many of the people on Friends, for example. Actually, it's kind of surprising. I guess the woman might not be heavier from Friends specifically, but Whoopi Goldberg, for example, she's a lot bigger than she used to be. Rosie O'Donnell, she's probably a lot bigger than she used to be. And even Oprah seems to have given up on, for a while there she had lost weight and she seems to have just become comfortable in her own skin. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing for people to be comfortable in their own skin. There is the downside, though, of all of the accompanying cons of being comfortable at an unhealthy weight, as well as the difficulties or simply the habit of entertaining yourself by eating as opposed to finding some other way of getting that satisfaction. Unfortunately, though, most people are never going to be able to figure out how to lose weight and sustain that weight loss without going up and down, which we can see by the fact that the percentage of people who are either overweight or obese, and they have good statistics. There are good statistics for the USA. That just keeps increasing as every year passes. And even the percentage of kids who are overweight keeps increasing with every passing year. And I can really say for myself that that was the trajectory that I was on, where I graduated from university, or I was still in university actually. I was taking as much cake and pizza and whatever else, and I did not have time to, I didn't choose to make the time to exercise, but exercise wasn't the solution, because you just can't exercise as fast as you consume calories. You can't burn calories as fast as you can consume them. A mouthful of almost anything can take you half hour, an hour, unless it's like cabbage or broccoli, to burn off those calories. And it doesn't take more than 5 seconds to eat something that can have you exercising for half an hour or an hour. And even if exercise really was a solution, most people tend to have less and less activity as the years pass, as they become, more settled wherever they are. They fall into a particular habit, and that habit usually isn't about maintaining or even increasing the exercise. So exercise couldn't be a solution, wouldn't be a solution, even if it was, because it's just not something that people end up doing anyway to try to counteract the increases in their weight as a result of years of sustained excess, even if it's a minor amount. And this was, I saw my aunt recently after I hadn't seen her for a really long time, and if I wasn't pretty sure that she wasn't pregnant, I would have asked her if she wasn't pregnant. And, at my peak, somebody could easily ask me if I was pregnant. So there's that. Anyway, that's it for me, and hopefully you can find a way to learn or to lose weight sustainably and to maintain your weight, to control your weight. Because if you can't, that's a problem. Even just a little excess just builds up over the years. So feel free to like, dislike, comment, subscribe, share. I don't know if there's more on the list, but that's as many as I know. In the same way that you would like someone to give you feedback if this were your recording. Have a good one. Peace.